I'm not going to lie, and I've never lied since day one. I adore No Man's Sky, and not even the version that it turned into. I'd argue that the version it has become is not even the thing that I love. I love No Man's Sky from day one. Literally, the day one version, the one that everyone hated. I never really got the hate, other than, well, I do. I get the whole thing that Sean Murray lied his arse off for like months on end, or you can do multiplayer, or you can do all these different things. Turning up on the Colbert Report to promise different builds of the game that weren't even real. Just, might as well have been playing a video. Might have been doing that. The version that landed on launch day, I hadn't been keeping up with as many trailers. It was only retroactively that I went back and was like, man, he really did spin a whole bunch of porcupines. But if you just go down the route of nice little indie studio, trying something new, procedurally generated universe, algorithmically generated planets and creatures, and all that type jazz, then it's a lush little, like, Isaac Asimov style, art direction style, sci-fi, I don't know, exploration heavy, open world thing. What
about the Jurassic Park video where it's...
That's phenomenal. That's amazing. That, I don't know if we can use that music, but that thing is the best embodiment of obviously what it was, sort of held up to be on the Sony side, on the different stage appearances that they got to do. I mean, Sean Murray's talked about it loads, like post-launch, like, oh, should I have done all these things? Should I have hyped the game up? Kind of got carried away, yada, yada. Hence why he just put his head down, and the whole team have just added all these free expansions for the last, 3 years now, which has turned it into this massive over-the-top thing, which is great to see. Like, obviously they're trying to, do right by the people that believed in the complete hokum that he was selling initially. But for me, I just love that it is this brilliant, exploration-heavy sci-fi dream come true. And you don't know what you're going to find. And I remember one of the only things that Sean Murray said before launch, one of the only true things that he said, I actually love you, Sean Murray, was that, the whole point of that game was to make you feel like a lone adventurer, just adrift in space, not knowing what you're going to find next. And I think that the scale of that does come through. You're stranded in between a bunch of different planets and you touch down and you don't know what's going to be on there. And I love that. As a sci-fi fan, I absolutely love that. I love that game, and I will always kind of sing its praises. So, No Man's Sky.
So I primarily am a PC gamer, but I do have a PS4 and I've got a Switch, so I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, PC master race, all console people get in the bin, I'm not like that. Problematic person, yeah, I don't do that. But there is one thing I will stand by when it comes to PC versus console, and that is that first-person shooters are not made for consoles.
Agads, man, what do you mean?
Ew! So, when people think of FPSs, we had this debate earlier, actually, the other day when we first discussed about what we were talking about today, and I think it was Mr. Scott who talked about Halo Combat Evolved being the most iconic, most influential first-person shooter there was. But that's not the case. It's very influential, but it's not the most influential. When you think about influential first-person shooters, you think of Wolfenstein 3D, you think of Doom, you think of Quake, you think of Half-Life. They are PC games. PC games first and foremost. First-person shooters as a control scheme is keyboard and mouse, not a controller, in any respect at all. I can see Scott making movements down there. I can see him being a bit annoyed. FPSs are not made for consoles. They are awful when you're playing them on consoles, and that is coming from that's my opinion. That's what this video is about. It's my opinion.
How dare you?
That's my opinion, and I will not be seen dead getting another FPS on a console. The only FPS that I'd end up buying for a console would be something like Metroid Prime, if they release the trilogy or 4 for the Switch. That's the only one that would be nailed down to a particular console. Anything else I'll get on PC, because using a controller for me is awful for first person. I use a controller for racing games and third person stuff and everything else, but just not first person. But there's a but here. I played, obviously, World at War through to like Black Ops 2 for COD on 360. You played Halo 3 on 360. I played Fallout New Vegas on 360 that you can play all in first person. And I did that for a number of years. And I was used to it and I didn't really think anything of it. But then when I made the switch properly back to PC, I look back and I think, I don't know how on earth I did that. So as much as there's a lot of people, as there are in here, going, oh, what was he talking about, console FPSs? I have so much respect for people that do play FPSs on a console, because I just can't fathom how you do it. Ewan plays Rainbow Six Siege, a horrendously, incredibly tactical shooter on a console. That blows my mind.
That's the thing.
More for Josh, because Josh plays it too.
Not as much though.
Yeah, it's a weird. I've got both sides of the coin here. I can't stand FPSs on a console because it's dreadful using a controller because it's all acceleration versus actual like precision movement. And also, before the comment section mentioned about the mouse and keyboards you can get for consoles, they don't work like real keyboards and mice. They emulate joysticks. I have respect for people who do play FPSs on a console and happily do so, but me personally, I can't do it. And at the end of the day, they were made on a PC and they work best on PC, so they're not made for consoles.
You don't have any respect at all?
Obviously not.
I'm not a very controversial person. I don't like confrontation really. I don't tend to argue with people. If someone tells me a game's good and they think it's good, or if they think a game's bad, I tend to just go, okay, cool, nice opinion, man. But one hill that I am gonna decide to die on today, maybe, I don't know, please don't murder me, is that the best console, right, in the console war, although let's be honest, it's not really a war, PlayStation 4 are clearly winning, right, the console war, but screw the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, they are nice and all that, but the best console at the minute in sunny 2019 is the Nintendo Switch. It's just the best. It's so versatile, you can do so much with it. It looks decent on a television. It's not your Xbox One X. It's not the most powerful console, but power isn't everything. It's how you use it. And I just love the Nintendo Switch. I love my, funnily enough, Nintendo original games. I love everything about it. I love how it can be portable. I take the train. From time to time, I'll go home and visit my family, so I quite like taking the Switch home and forgetting how bored I am when I go home and visit my family. Sorry, family, I love you. But no, it's really good. I love that you can take it anywhere. I love the motion controls on it after absolutely hating them on other consoles like the Wii U. Oh God, motion controls were just a no, but on the Switch, I love them. They're so good. But I guess mostly it comes down to the games that are available on it and the fact that it is portable when you want it to be. It's the best console, and I will not hear anyone say otherwise. Don't kill me though, I do love the PS4 because Bloodborne, but I mean...
But not the Xbox though.
Well, I like my Xbox because I like Ori, and I like Recore, and I like Rare Replay, but then I can get those on PC and N64.
I love the Xbox.
Oh, Ash loves the Xbox, and now I feel bad. Do you know what? I take it all back. I'll just die on the hill. I'll just die. I guess I'll just die. It's fine. I would die for you, Ash. It's fine.
This goes out to Peter Molyneux. You are the father of all lies, and I hope, for God's sake, that somebody buys you a muzzle and keeps you away from any game development and any hype promotional packages ever. You are, without a doubt, one of the biggest snake oil merchants I have ever had the displeasure to fall across my gaming journalist plate. And I would leave you until the end of the meal and then throw it in the bin.
Sorry, but which game is it? All of them?
Right, okay, so to clarify this, and obviously that is just a bit of a joke, he's a nice man. The problem is he's too nice because he keeps on telling people that they're going to get the entire world and then he delivers absolutely nothing close to that. I'm not saying that he ruined experiences that I had with games like the Fable franchise, because I did go and enjoy those games. I thought that Fable 2 is a very good game, and Fable 3, despite its weird time-skipping sequences towards the end, had a good premise at least. John Cleese is a nice touch in any game, we all have to admit that. But the problem is he just doesn't know when to stop. After the Fable shenanigans happened, he could have stepped away and just been like, look, okay, I've learned my lesson. Maybe I do oversell this. Maybe combat can't be innovative and creative and then all mapped to one button at the same time. But then he went out and made that game, the one where you chipped away at a cube and then it was like, oh, what's inside? Nothing, Peter. Nothing was inside it because they broke it open and you didn't give the prize. Then they had another game that came out where somebody could take control and be a god in the game, and they gave a prize to this guy and said you can have a share of the revenue, and they didn't give him bloody anything. He's the best hype man, but he's the worst person. He is the Bez of the gaming industry, shaking his bloody maracas around I'm not doing anything, you bloody pillhead.
I have a few, actually. It's not really like a hill as much as it is like a formation of mountains like the Rockies or the Andes, for instance. We all have kind of those.
Yeah, you've said a lot of mountain things this.
Yeah, but I have a few. So Arkham, I think the best Arkham games are actually Asylum and Origins. I think City and Night are actually quite deeply flawed. Please don't at me. But the trash take, ostensibly, that I'm here to deliver today is that Splinter Cell has and always will be better than the Metal Gear series.
Oh, shut up, clapping it.
I agree with him. I agree with him.
You would.
Yeah, damn right you do. Yeah, see, because it's right.
Why is that then, mate?
The stealth is much more compelling. The characters as well. I think as much as David Hayter is a legend of that series, and I appreciate what he did, he is a fairly monotone character throughout most of that series. The stealth, the gunplay, isn't as intuitive as it is in Splinter Cell. The environments, I know you can make an argument that the older Splinter Cell games especially are just corridors, but the way that you control Sam Fish and the way he moves, I think is much more, felt much better, at least until Phantom Pain came along. Felt much like it just basically made it feel as though it was the superior of the two stealth genre, the two stealth series. Bleh. And yeah, I don't know. I feel as though Metal Gear is a deeply flawed series. Why do all the women have to go like unzip the jumpsuits to shoot people? What's up with that?
Two women.
It's just a bit awkward. Like, I'd rather listen to Michael Ironside's dulcet tones than I would David Hayter's or Kiefer Sutherland's. So the thing is, I love Metal Gear. I really like the Metal Gear series. I really do. But I definitely think it's revered maybe too much. It's like this big artistic exemplar of the genre, whereas Splinter Cell I think is just a more compelling third-person stealth game.
You could say, in a word, it's just more grounded.
Yeah.
Unbelievably so. Like Hideo Kojima's up his own arsehole.
Oh yeah, that's the thing that makes it amazing though.
But that's another reason why you could say that's not what he did.
Yeah, I can deal with that for like one game, but when it's constant for like hours and hours and entry after entry, it just gets a little bit boring. I don't need to see Otacon piss himself again. I'm sorry. I'm just sick of it. Why is he constantly getting like, no. Splinter Cell I think it's just better than Metal Gear Solid, and in fact, you know what? The Tom Clancy franchise doesn't get enough credit as a whole in the game media. I think Ubisoft, they were probably Ubisoft's best games.
With that, we can agree.
Yeah, so there we go.
The gaming hill that I would die on, the thing that I actually truly believe is that, I've spoken about this before with multiplayer games really not being my jam, but the thing that I truly believe about gaming is that, for me, it isn't enjoyable unless it is a narrative-based experience. For gaming, for me, everything has to be about the story, so I'm very much involved and invested in single-player games. I think single-player games are what the industry is, and multiplayer feels like a big cash grab that I just don't really feel invested in. I like asymmetrical co-op games, online stuff. As I've spoken about Evolve a lot, I like Evolve. But I think multiplayer in general is just so dry and boring, and I don't really understand the appeal of going and shooting Chad in the face who's 14 and going to tell you to suck your mum afterwards. Like, I don't get that side of gaming at all, and I think it's completely uninteresting. I think it's all a big pissing contest to see who can shoot the most in the shortest amount of time, which is great and all, but when you've got all these like massive, beautiful, linear stories and open worlds that you could be exploring on your own, I just think that is so much more interesting. I think that is far more appealing and a much better side of gaming that more people should be invested in. And this whole battle royale phase and all that sort of thing, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand gaming. The worker of this gaming channel. No, I get the competition side and everything, but yeah, I just think that single player gaming is the ultimate peak of what we're going to reach in this industry, and more people should love it for what it is, and it's not dying and it's not going anywhere. It just needs a bit more love and attention and praise so that we can all celebrate these wonderful, lovely worlds a bit more, because I think it gets a bit unloved and forgotten in the waves of Battle Royale at the moment, which is, I don't know, I feel it's quite nice. I'm being nice. I'm doing a rage, having a rage entry, having a nice little, go on, share the love.
Alright, it's the fact that the Call of Duty campaigns are the best bits of Call of Duty. Like, the multiplayer is good, and I love me some Modern Warfare 1 and some Modern Warfare 2 and some Black Ops 1 and some Black Ops 2, and then it kind of ends about there. But like, there's hundreds of hours on those multiplayer series. But the campaigns themselves are just delicious sort of fast food. You can have your gourmet caviar in God of War, but then sometimes you just want to pig out and 20 chicken nuggets, a Big Mac, a Grand Big Mac with bacon, and a big ass drink, and you just want to spend the weekend playing through a Call of Duty campaign, because that's what you need to sort of balance off these big epic experiences. Sometimes you just want 8 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours of a really good tailored shoot 'em up game with a decent story. That's a lot of fun, that's really authored. It's kind of like a Michael Bay movie. You know, like a lot of people give Michael Bay a lot of crap, but Michael Bay is good at what he does. He's good at his brand of action. I think Call of Duty is the same, where a lot of people try to imitate Call of Duty, especially in the late 2000s, but they weren't quite there. The quality wasn't there. They do big, brainless bombast unlike anyone else, and it's always a load of fun, and I look forward to it every year, except last year with Black Ops 4, because they didn't have one to just buy it for the multiplayer and dip in, but to really just 3 days, that's all I need. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, finish the campaign, have a rollicking good time, and then get back to my life. Because sometimes games are just too long, and that's what you need. 20 chicken nuggets in Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered.
How are you not fat?
You don't see what's under here, brother. You do not see what's under here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Have you gotten 3 days out of a 4-hour campaign?
Yep.
Well, that 4 hours, the later ones, Infinite Warfare with all the side missions was like 12 hours. Like, yeah, Modern Warfare 3.
No one played Infinite Warfare.
I played it, it had a good story. The multiplayer was bad. The campaign was really good. Who was that?
Lewis Hamilton was in that, wasn't he?
So was Conor McGregor.
No, was he?
Yeah.
Conor McGregor was. I didn't even notice that. Kit Harington was in it. I like when they get celebrities in it, man. It's fun. It's like a gossip magazine. It's like reality TV. Like, I just want that sometimes. I don't want to have my brain on the whole experience. I just want to shoot some bad guys. I don't know what else I've got for this entry, so I'm just going to end it here. Oh, so Zombies is bad, Rich. It's just not very good. It's fine, but if you've got no mates like me, it's just not fun. You can't play zombies on your own, Rich. You don't want to do it with strangers.
The last 10 years, Josh, bro.
Ah!